Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how to install front brake pads on a 2006 Honda Civic. If you thought this video was helpful, don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. So the first thing you want to do is take off the two bolts that hold your caliper in place. So you're going to need a crescent wrench to hold the slider pin from spinning, and then your socket wrench to get the bolt off. It's a 12mm bolt. And once you take off both of those bolts, you can take the caliper off. And then what you want to do is take your pads out. And as you can see, my pads were really low, so I really need to do this. So take the pads out of the bracket, and then what you want to do is take your 17mm socket and take these two bolts off that hold the bracket into place. So if you need your breaker bar, go use that like me. Once you take those off, you can take the bracket off and check the slider pins. So the way Honda does it now is they're sealed, so you don't have to lube them. Just make sure that the seal is good and they're still sliding. If they are, then you don't need to do anything. You're good to go. And then take off these two infamous screws that hold the rotor in place from the factory. And I really hate these things. This is a Honda thing, and I really hate these things because they are like impossible to get off sometimes. So I use my impact driver and a hammer, and you can shock them out. As you can see in the picture, one of them got stuck. Like basically my impact driver broke the bit, and so I had to partially drill it out to get the bolt, the little screw out. And so this is why I do not like these things, because they serve no purpose. Your lug nuts keep the rotor flat against the hub, so you don't even need these. So I did not put those back in, I can tell you that. Then after that, once you get that off, take the rotor off, and everything else is in reverse order. So take your new rotor and spray brake clean on it, because these things have like a residue from the factory so they don't rust. So brake clean will get that off. Then go ahead and put your new rotor on. If you want to line up the infamous screws, you can. If you want to put those back in. Like I said, I don't do that. If you do that, make sure you use anti-seize. That way it's easier to get off. So the next thing you want to do is go ahead and make your bracket metal pieces kind of nice. You should probably actually use like a brush to do that, but I'm kind of lazy, so I didn't do that. So go ahead and make those look okay. Put the bracket back on with the two bolts, and then go ahead and put your brake grease on. You should probably do this before you actually put the bracket on. That way you don't get any grease on the actual rotor. So kind of do as I say, not as I do. So go ahead and put brake grease all over the force points, and see this is why. So basically I had to like kind of wipe off a little bit that got on the rotor from my hand. So once you do that, then go ahead and grease up your pads as well. So you want to put it on both sides, which is contacting the metal and the shim, and then also in the middle on the backing plate where it's going to be, contacting the piston. So I'll go ahead and spread that everywhere. You can be pretty liberal with this, don't worry about it. And then go ahead and put your pads in. Make sure the one with the indicator is on the inside, as you can see, and go ahead and put the other side in. So make sure you get it into the bracket correctly. So there you go. And then what you want to do is take your C-clamp and take one of the old pads and press the piston back in. You can do this by hand, but it's way harder, so make sure you have your C-clamp. So also note that the brake reservoir is going to fill up higher, so you make sure you want to take some of that brake fluid out. And yes, I know that's old brake fluid, so I got to change that too. Anyways, after that, then go ahead and put your caliper back on. There's only two more bolts, which are just one on both sides. Make sure you use your crescent wrench to hold the slider pin in place. Once you've done that, that's it. You're good to go. So if you thought this video was helpful, don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.